What is up, Internet? It's your boy Tanku, and today we're doing another subscriber requested video. This one came in through Facebook, so I appreciate the suggestion. And of course, with that said, guys, hit me up on the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. And with all that said, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be talking about another anime. I did a video on it in the beginnings of the channel, and it was a little rough, especially with some of the audio and things. And now that we are better at, the editing and the anime is actually finished, I can do more of an overview on it. And I wanted to do more of the differences between, because this is a web novel, a light novel, a manga, and of course an anime that finished up not too long ago. And of course a subscriber requested it, even though I already did one back in the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it again, more of an overview and do the differences. And that is with Teichi no Yusha no Nari Agari, which is of course the rising of the shield hero. So I'm just going to do a quick synopsis of the whole anime, and then I'm going to go into some of the biggest differences, because those are pretty heavy. Some things they took out of the anime I think they should have left in, because it's very important, and it helps read the... It will change the flow of the anime a little bit as far as how some of the characters are. So first, of course, we have our four cardinal heroes who got summoned to an alternate world. Nafumi, who's the shield hero. Ren, who's the sword hero. Itsuki, who's the bow hero. And Motoyasu, who's the spear hero. And so they get summoned to this world, and they're varying in personalities quite a bit. And right away, Nafumi gets tricked and falsely accused of assault of a very adult nature by Malti, who is the princess of this kingdom. And she's an adventurer too, but when she's an adventurer, she uses the name as Mine. Everybody knows who Mine is, so I'm just going to refer to her as Mine from now on. And Nafumi goes kind of nuts because he gets falsely accused. He hates it. He hates his world, doesn't want to be around it. He ends up getting a slave named Raftalia. Best girl of the year, probably. There's been a lot of best girls in the past couple seasons happened since then, but Raftalia definitely still is a contender. And of course, he ends up with Philo, who is his bird-like creature that can turn into a little girl that has like angel wings. It's pretty adorable. So, through the course of the anime, it's about him overcoming his anger towards the world, with the help of Raftalia and Philo. Him seeing that not this whole world isn't that bad, and maybe it is kind of worth saving. Trying to learn forgiveness and forgiving people, and of course, Mine getting her just desserts for what she did to Nafumi. And so that's the basic overview of it. If you haven't watched it, you might want to stop right here, because I'm going to go into some differences, and they're pretty big differences across all the mediums of the story here. And just go watch it if you haven't watched it yet. So go, get out of here, go check it out. Alright, for those of you that are still here, especially the one subscriber that requested it, I'm going to go over a few differences that's very, very important. And the first one is going to be, they kind of skimmed over in the anime, but it's a really big deal in the light novel. And it's Nafumi's frame of mind right after he gets accused. It's a lot darker in the light novel than it is in the manga and the anime. I mean, it's pretty nefarious. Like, he is like wanting revenge. In fact, it's a little dark here, but one of the reasons why he buys Raftalia is because she kind of reminds him of Mine. And for a second, like, it's like two paragraphs in the light novel, he just has these dark thoughts of how he could treat her like shit, and how gratifying it would be for him to be able to do this to her. It's quickly overcome because he looks at Raftalia and realizes that she has it harder than he does. So those thoughts go away. He buys her, and we move on. The second biggest difference is when Raftalia's grown up and she's training. There's a part where they kind of have a montage where he's like buying her a bunch of stuff and feeding her, and she like giving her the haircut and doing all that stuff. And part where she wets the bed and she's just crying, and he's like, "Oh, it's fine, it's okay." That part is big in the light novel, and the manga. They don't quite go as deep into it as the manga as they do, but they go deeper into it than they do in the anime, and it's very important because Raftalia is traumatized. All right, she has night terrors. She's afraid of Nafumi in the beginning because she wasn't treated very well. She was beat. If you don't watch the anime, she's beaten and bruised and everything like that. And so when this part happens, that montage, he goes and he buys her anything that she wants as far as food goes. And this girl has an insatiable appetite. She's always eating. And Nafumi's like, oh, well, I got to figure out a way to make some more money if I'm going to feed this, kid this entire time. And the part when she wets the bed and the haircut kind of happen at once. And so in the light novel, it's very, very important because it shows you how gentle Nafumi truly is and how much he truly cares for Raftalia, way more than it does in the anime. So basically what happens, he cuts her hair because it's all scraggly. He feeds it to the shield, gains some, abilities in the shield to do that. Raftalia is going to sleep. She falls asleep, and he can see the night terror coming on. So he finds it in her sleep. If he cuddles her or cuddles with her a little bit, she calms down and doesn't have the night terror. So he does that, and the next morning he wakes up, and Raftalia's in the corner of the room, bawling, and he's trying to figure out what's bawling, and that's when he realizes she wets the bed because he's pretty much laying in it. So he goes over to, comfort her a little bit, and as he's reaching out, Raftalia covers up, like she's about to get beat, and she's just yelling, I'm sorry," like he's about to just beat her, And so he reaches out to her, says it's okay, pats her on the head, and hugs her, and that's when Raftalia starts, really seeing Nafumi's not going to treat me like everybody else did. He's actually a kind person. He's not going to beat me. And it's very impactful in the light novel and in the manga too, because it just shows you how Nafumi is, in more detail. And how screwed up Raftalia really is in more detail. And I really think they should have left that in the anime. They didn't, but, that's the way it goes. And then a lot of part 2 is Motoyasu's attitude. They do a good job of making him look like the village idiot in the anime because, let's face it, Motoyasu is a moron. But the little things with their fights, some things he actually says to Nafumi, in towards the end there, right before Mine gets her just desserts, Motoyasu attacks Nafumi and they're fighting, and Nafumi's trying to reason with him, tell him to stop, just listen to what I have to say. Let's do this, calm down. And Motoyasu's kind of having a back and forth with him. In the light novel and the manga, that doesn't happen. Motoyasu doesn't say a word. He's just in pure rage kill mode. And so he really wants Nafumi dead. And it villainizes him more a little bit than it did in the anime. And I think that's more important because nobody likes Motoyasu. I mean, well, sorry. If you're a Motoyasu fan, sorry. But the guy's an idiot and he deserved to have every bad thing that happened to him. And it's impactful because it leads into our last big difference that I want to discuss in this video. And when that happens, we're going to be talking about Rishia, who is part of Itsuki's group, actually. So they don't really make it that prevalent in the anime, but in the manga light novel, she is the one that's responsible for stopping the fight in that last wave, because it was her idea to use those barrels of that alcohol to bombard the enemies, to get them all dazed because they get drunk from the vapors, and Nafumi's the only one that's resistant to it, to get that stopped. They don't really give her that credit in the anime when they should. And she gets kicked out of Itsuki's party because she got blamed for something that she didn't do. So Itsuki kicks her out, and Nafumi kind of relates to her. He ends up taking her on, but it's how she gets there. She actually tries to kill herself in the manga, and Philo saves her because Philo's out swimming in the ocean, notices what she's doing, saves her, brings her back, and Nafumi's like, "What are you doing, idiot? Don't kill yourself. You value yourself more," and praises her a little bit for being the smart girl to help end the last wave. So she runs off and everything like that. And they don't show this in anime, but it's a very important part in the manga because it kind of shows Motoyasu kind of apologize to Nafumi, even though it kind of really doesn't, but it's not in the anime at all, so you don't know it. So there's a part where Motoyasu comes up on Risha on the shore and talks to her a little bit, and Risha tells him what's going on and how she wants to die because Itsuki, who she's obsessed with, doesn't like her and all this stuff. And so Motoyatsu actually goes to Nafumi and talks to him and says, "Hey man, I think you're the only person that can understand what she's going through and talk to her." And like at first Nafumi's hella off put. She's like, "Why are you talking to me, bro? I didn't do anything to her." Why? And Motoyatsu's like, "Bro, I know you didn't. We've already resolved that. I hear ya. That's why I'm coming to you, because I think you're the only one that can understand her position, and I think you're the only one that can help her in her situation." And then Nafumi goes, recruits her into his party to help make her stronger, and so on. And that's a really big moment I think they should have left in, because between Motoyatsu and Nafumi, the two biggest, you know, like, for Motoyatsu to come to him and be like, "Listen, you know, I'm not saying nothing. I know we've settled that. You were wrongfully accused, but right now this girl needs you, and I think you're the only one that's gonna understand her position, and you're gonna be the only one that's gonna be able to help her." So it shows him not trying to be Mr. White Knight and fixing the issue, him actually going to Nafumi for help, and him saying, "Hey, I recognize, I understand that I was wrong, kind of. You were falsely accused." So I think that would have been a lot better part in the anime for some of the stuff they just added on to kind of wrap up the anime towards the end. And, you know, those are just my thoughts, guys. Just let me know what you guys think. You know, leave a comment below or hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Keep the interaction coming. I'm loving it. We're getting subscribers. A lot of people are subscribing. Thank you for that. Keep it up. Keep subscribing. Keep liking the videos. And with all that said, guys, let's have an awesome, awesome day.